And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed. To you it shall be for food. Genesis 1:29. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. Psalm 78:25. Everyday Manna with Lisa.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Everyday Manna. I am so excited because I am making today one of my all-time favorite things. I absolutely adore this meal. What it is, I went to a restaurant a couple of years ago and discovered this sandwich, which was a BLT with fried green tomatoes. And oh my goodness, it was fabulous. Well, they don't make that dish anymore. So I'm like, well, I have to figure out how to do this at home on my own because I love fried green tomatoes. And then to put it on a sandwich, never thought of it. But let me tell you, if you like fried green tomatoes, this is the show for you. The first thing we need to do, oven is preheated to 400 degrees. I very seldom ever fry bacon anymore because I have discovered that by just putting it on a baking sheet and baking it in the oven, it comes out flat, it comes out crisp, and a lot less messy. So today I've got about, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 slices. Now for this sandwich, I'm using thick cut bacon. If you don't like thick cut bacon, you don't have to use the thick cut, but I think it adds so much more to the sandwich. So I'm using thick cut, and mine is applewood smoked bacon, but you use whatever kind of bacon you like. I simply love bacon. I think everything tastes better with bacon on it. But a BLT with a fried green tomato, it just, oh my goodness, I was a happy person that day. It was just fantastic. They don't serve it anymore, so I'm like, we're gonna make that at home. And I have been making it now for about a year, and I love it, absolutely love it. So I like my bacon with a little bit of pepper on it if I'm eating it on a sandwich. So I go ahead and put pepper on one side of my bacon. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can actually buy peppered bacon now, but I just do it myself. I do bacon all kinds of ways. Sometimes I brush maple syrup on it and roast it a little bit, and then put the maple syrup back on there and put it back in the oven for about 10 minutes. But you know what? I promise you, if you eat bacon, if you don't like the mess that cooking bacon, you know, it just gets everything, it greases up everything. Try this. Just put your bacon on a baking sheet, just like this. Put it in the oven about 20 minutes later. Now this is thick cut, so it might take a little longer, but regular bacon takes about 15 to 20 minutes to get to your desired likeness. Some people like it crisper than others. I promise you'll never fry bacon again. So put it in your oven, boom, it's done. Let it go for about 20 minutes. Now, to go alongside that, we are going to have fried green tomatoes because it's a BLT with fried green tomatoes. Love them. I'm so excited. Now, I've got my skillet preheating. Now, if I was at home doing this, I would be using my grandmother's cast iron skillet because I don't think everything tastes better fried in a cast iron skillet. But I don't have a cast iron skillet here. So I'm just using a regular skillet. I've got my oil. I'm using regular canola oil. You can use vegetable oil or canola oil, whatever you have. I got my oil about 1 inch thick. I can't give you measurements on that because it truly just depends on the depth of your skillet, how big or small your skillet is. If you're cooking for one person, which I do this sandwich a lot for just me, I just use my little small skillet. But if you're cooking for more than one, then you would want to have, you know, a fairly large, this is about a 12-inch skillet with about 1 inch depth in the oil. Now, I'm just going to kind of let that preheat. To serve alongside our sandwich, I'm going to do a salad with a fruit mixture in it. And with that, I'm going to make a blueberry dressing to go on top of the salad. So we're going to get kind of started on the salad because I want to give that bacon a chance to get good and crisp before I start the tomatoes. because I really don't, you don't want your tomatoes to get cold. They're not very good cold, but they're delicious hot. Oh, I'm so excited. So I've got 2 oranges here, and what I'm doing is just peeling the orange, and this is a very thick, fleshed orange. As you can see this, you see the white part right there? You want to cut that away. So what I do is cut my orange, cut the top and the bottom off, and just cut off that peeling. When I was a little girl, I share this little story with you because it's really kind of weird. When I was little, I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, and my mom would peel oranges for me, and what she would do is take this, peel this orange part off, which is the zest, and I would eat that. I still, to this day, I won't do it today, but to this day, I will peel an orange, and then I peel the zest off and eat the pith. Now, is that strange or what? But I did it as a little girl, and every time I eat an orange, I think back to my mom peeling those pieces off for me, and I would eat that part of the orange, but we won't do that today. Now, if you've ever peeled an orange, you know what I'm talking about. You've got these little segments here and here and here and here. You want to cut between those using a very small, sharp paring knife. Watch your fingers. And just cut out the little segments without the white membrane on there, because you want to eat these. This is a small orange, but it's good. It's juicy. It's falling apart on me too. You want to kind of peel that away from that. This orange is falling apart here. So we'll just do it with our fingers. If it were a little bit bigger, you could really just kind of do what I was doing a minute ago, which is take your knife and cut away the tough part that's not so pleasant to eat, and just get the segments inside. And this is called, if you ever see a recipe that calls for supreming an orange or a grapefruit or any kind of a citrus fruit, that's what this is. This is called supreming, which is just simply getting out those little segments. Now at home, if I'm eating it, I just eat those things. But I've got a little boy that loves oranges. My little Aaron loves oranges, but he does not like to eat that part. He says it's tough. So I do this for him. I'll cut up an orange and segment it out and, put it in his lunch box or whatever we're doing. If he's eating it for a snack at home. This one's a little bit bigger. We can probably see a little better. Citrus is pretty much available year-round now, and it's good year-round. And I love it. I love all kinds of citrus fruits. We eat a lot of fruit. And I really try to write recipes to get fruit incorporated more into your diet, because I think a lot of people don't eat enough fruit. And putting them in salads and in desserts over pound cake and things like that is a good way to get your family to eat citrus fruit or any kind of fruit. Good way to get that in your diet. So I'm just going to keep supreming this orange. This one's working a little better. You see how I'm doing that? Cut away that segment and come over here. Cut away this segment. The reason I'm doing it over a bowl is because I want to save all that juice and add that to my dressing. And you're just cutting away just the pure fruit part of the orange. If you don't like orange, you could use grapefruit in this. Would be delicious. You don't even have to put the oranges in there. The point of it is use whatever kind of fruit that your family likes. And then take your hand and squeeze out all the extra juice. You don't want to waste any of that. We're going to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to get the rest of the fruit in here, get our salad going, and then we're going to fry our tomatoes. I'll be right back with you in just a minute. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9 says, we must not become tired of doing good. Many times our natural instincts are revenge. When someone wrongs us or hurts us or one of our children, our natural instinct is to just, ball up our fist and retaliate. But, revenge is natural, but it's not spiritual. And we need to remember that we need to follow a spiritual life. We need to allow God to be our vengeance for us. The Bible tells us us that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, I will repay. We need to remember that we need to do good and not tire in our good deeds and our doing what we know to be the will of God. The next time your revengeance tries to act up in you, remember it's not spiritual. Welcome back. Now we've got our oranges all segmented here. So let's go ahead, any of the extra juice that's in there, and if you're not using oranges, don't worry about it. You can just leave this part out, but I don't want to waste that. I'm going to put that in the dressing. So any extra juice, just pour in your bowl that you're getting ready to make your dressing. Now we need about 1/4 of a cup of preserves. I'm using blueberry, but you can use blackberry, raspberry, strawberry, apricot, whatever kind of preserve that your family likes, absolutely use it. This is just a great little quick salad dressing. I'm using blueberry because I love it. But you use what you like. Any flavor, any kind of fruit preserve. I love the brand that has the all fruit, you know what I'm talking about, the one that has the all fruit spread. It's just delicious. So to this, I'm gonna add another one of my favorite ingredients, and that's balsamic vinegar. I buy and use a lot of balsamic. This particular one is about a 5-year aged balsamic. Now that's something, let me stop right there real quick to talk about balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinegars is a vinegar that is aged in different kinds of barrels. It starts out in, say, an oak. I don't know the actual, I know where it ends up, but I don't know how it starts out. But it starts out in a barrel that they leave there for a period of time till it evaporates down. Then they put it in a different kind of wood and a different kind of wood and a different kind of wood. It ends up, if I'm right, if I remember correctly, in like a mulberry type barrel. But it ages, it thickens. You want a good balsamic vinegar. Read the bottle, and you want something that comes from this little town right here called Modena. You can get some good balsamic vinegars at the grocery store. Just taste different brands until you come up with one that you like. I like this particular one. There's 2 or 3 different brands that I like, but I like a balsamic vinegar that's aged at least a minimum of 4 years. You can get some really, 100-year balsamic vinegar, but it's just way too expensive. But at least a 4-year balsamic vinegar for, maybe $5. And this bottle I've had for a year. So, you don't need much, and it will, you're going to use it sparingly in some different ingredients, but it's a wonderful vinegar to use. I want about 1/4 of a cup or so of good balsamic vinegar. It smells so good. You know, something that's really good is balsamic, a good balsamic drizzled over strawberries. I know it sounds weird, but let me tell you, a good balsamic over strawberries with some black pepper over top of it is fabulous. Really, really good. Add a little salt, about a teaspoon or so of kosher salt, and then some freshly cracked pepper, however much you like. If you've ever watched this show before, you know I like pepper. I like a lot of pepper, actually. I use a lot. Whisk that together, and while you're whisking, whisk in about 1/2 cup of good extra virgin olive oil. Just whisk it together. And that's it. You've got a dressing that you made in minutes that is better than anything bottled that you're ever going to buy. We're just going to kind of let that set. We'll leave the whisk in there because we don't have any type of emulsifier, meaning a mayonnaise or an egg or something like that. So we need to re-whisk it right before we toss it with our salad. We could put it in a blender if you wanted to, but that's a little more trouble than I want to go through today. Now, to our orange segments. Here's where you can use your likes and dislikes. Berries, whatever looks good that day in the market. I happen to like all kinds of berries. So these were gorgeous. Let me show you these gorgeous, gorgeous blackberries. Look at those, how juicy and plump and wonderful they look. So I'm gonna add some of these blackberries, about half a cup or so, whatever amount you like. Love them, they're delicious. And raspberries. You could use strawberries, you could use kiwi, you could use whatever your family likes. I happen to adore raspberries, but you need to be careful with your raspberries because sometimes they're very perishable. So check each one, even out of a container, and make sure that they're okay. But I love raspberries. They're delicious. Just add you some berries, whatever kind you like. Gently, and I do mean gently, toss those together because those berries are extremely perishable. Now, I just have a mixture of salad greens. This is just a mixture of just baby lettuces, whatever kind of salad green you like, and then put your berries over top. Isn't that pretty? And then right before we serve it, we're going to put our dressing on there, but I'm gonna wait just a minute till right before we serve it. Add a little bit of pepper. I'm not gonna add any salt because I've got plenty in here. And let's just set that to the side till we're ready to serve. So our salad is made, our dressing is made. Let's talk about tomatoes. Our bacon is cooking in the oven. Now, I bought at my store yesterday green tomatoes. Now, you wanna make sure that your tomatoes are firm in order to fry them. Make sure that they've not started ripening. Oftentimes, you'll find them and they've got like a little bit of a pink hue coming on, a pink blush. You don't want those. You want the ones that are fully green and firm to the touch. Cut that core out with your little paring knife. I love fried green tomatoes. Love them just on their own. Sometimes I'll just have that for dinner. Just fry a green tomato and eat it. This core don't want to come out. Come on, you. There we go. And then cut off the bottom little piece there. Now, it depends on how thick you like your tomato. I like to have a thicker slice, so I'm gonna make mine, I'd say a good ½ inch thick. Any thinner than that, and I find they fall apart. And I don't like that very top piece to stay on there. I always just throw that away because I have a hard time getting the crumbs to stick to that. So 1 tomato will give you about 4 good slices. Let's do another one real quick. If you've never tried green tomatoes, try them. They're delicious. Totally different flavor than a ripe red tomato. Completely different. Oftentimes, because you know my mother has a garden, and I get to go eat out of that garden, but oftentimes I'll take green tomatoes, just cut them in half, brush them with olive oil and balsamic vinegar and stick them on the grill. And let me tell you, they're delicious. Absolutely delicious, just grilled. So about a ½ inch thick. I'm gonna get the oil good and hot. We're gonna take a quick break. When I come back, we're gonna fry these tomatoes. I'll be right back with you in just a minute.
There's a place where a total stranger will give their blood to save your life. A place where someone you never knew will save your child from drowning. Where someone will give you food and shelter after a flood. That place is called America, where we look out for each other. When you help the American Red Cross, you help America.
Okay, now to the tomatoes. We've got our tomatoes sliced. My oil is heating. I have in front of me just a baking sheet with a cooling rack over some paper towel that I can put the tomatoes on as I take them out of the grease. So we've got just some flour. I've got probably a cup of all-purpose flour. I want to season my flour with quite a bit of salt and quite a bit of pepper. This is going to be our little breading station. If you've ever fried anything, you know what I'm talking about. But I find, you know, I find a lot of viewers, truthfully, are learning the basic things from this program. And I really need to do just kind of a 101 sort of thing, a cooking 101, basic things. But this is called a breading station, where you've got your, whatever your components you're breading with. I'm using flour. Then I've got a couple of eggs to use here. To my egg, I'm going to add, I don't know, tablespoon or so of just water, plain water. Going to break those yolks and beat that up a little bit. And then a product that I find you can get nowadays. You used to could not find this anywhere but a Japanese or Chinese grocery store. But these are panko breadcrumbs. They're a Japanese breadcrumb. They're really crispy and delicious fried in something. So that's what we're using. So the step one, season your tomatoes. On one side is plenty with salt and pepper. My oil's getting hot. I've got to get to work here. Let me cut it down just a little. So I don't want my oil too hot. You want it to be about 350. Take your tomato slice, dip it in your flour mixture, then in your egg, and trust me, this is a messy job on your hands. Keep one hand dry. You're gonna need it. And then press your panko. If you can see what I'm doing here, you're pressing the panko breadcrumbs onto the tomato. Just take your hand and press them on there. You want to get a good amount on there and then put it in your oil. Your oil has to do that, or I promise your tomato will be soggy, anything you're frying. So we'll do another one here. We've got breading, or flour, egg, panko. Standard breading for a lot of things that I fry. Tomato too. These things only take a couple of minutes on each side, 2 or 3 minutes, and they're done. Once again, my bacon is smelling so good. Remember, we've got our bacon baking in the oven. Now, I like my tomato slices a little thicker. You may like yours thinner. That's up to you, whatever you like. I just really do prefer them to be a little thicker. And I'm so excited. Can't wait to eat. See how they're already starting to get brown? You gotta work quick here. Keep your one hand, because look at this hand. It gets food all over it, the breading kind of, they call it club hand. Just put your panko on there. Don't overcrowd your skillet. Now, let me check my first tomato. Ready? Let's see if he's done, because I think he's ready to be flipped. Look, oh, yum. Oh, I need a fork. Tongs are too big. Be careful, please be careful with this. Come on, little baby. Yeah, he needs a minute more. Oh, goodness, look at those beautiful, beautiful tomatoes. Love them, love them, love them. Let him go just a minute more. Let's go ahead and get a couple more ready to go in. When we take those out, then we'll replace them with the ones that we're getting ready to cook. That only take about 2 or maybe 3 minutes till they're golden brown. And they're delicious. Our bacon is smelling good. Our dressing is ready to go. Let's see if we're looking good over there, and we'll just kind of leave him in there. Oh, look here. Yum, yum, yum. All right, I'm just gonna fry these tomatoes, keep frying them. I'm gonna take them out as they get golden brown, and I'm gonna check on our bacon. Okay, now our bacon is done. Some of our tomatoes are done, and I've got them right here in front of me. Look how good they look. I'm so excited. I would just serve this with just some chips, whatever kind of potato chips that your family likes. I found these beautiful Italian rolls. These are crostini rolls, but you could use whatever kind of bread you like. I would not use regular thin sandwich bread because it will just, come through the bread. But any, ciabatta or focaccia, any kind of good crusty bread or the thick sliced, hearty or dense bread would work great with this, but whatever you like. So, this is how I build my sandwich. Take bacon, a couple of slices of bacon, or as much as you like. I like bacon. Take a little bit of lettuce, whatever kind of lettuce you like. I'm just using my leaf lettuce that I had bought for my salad. Whatever kind you like. And then your beautiful little tomato slices. Oh, I'm happy. Put a couple of these slices on here. Actually, those are pretty big. Oh. And then your wonderful little topping on there. You could put mayonnaise on there if you wanted to. I don't want to put it on my sandwich, but you could put mayonnaise on your sandwich if you wanted to. And there you go. A wonderful little fried green tomato and bacon. A BLT with fried green tomatoes. You have got to try this recipe. I can't wait to eat it. Our salad is there, and we've got our dressing. And we're gonna re-whisk our dressing and just pour your dressing over your salad right before you serve it. Don't do that too far in advance or your salad will wilt. I always save just a little bit to add. Some people like a little more dressing than others. Get a little salad mixture, a couple of spoons here to just stir up our salad. We've got our plate right here. Let me get us some of this on our beautiful little salad plate.